Alright, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into this article I found on InfoWars. And it says, flashback, Biden said you can't legislate by executive orders unless you're a dictator. This video from the 15th October 2020 speaks for itself. During a town hall broadcast by ABC News just over a fortnight before the election, Joe Biden was discussing his tax proposals when he declared that in order to see them implemented, he would need votes and approval from Congress. I have this strange notion. We are a democracy, Biden sardonically declared, pointing out that some of my Republican friends and some of my Democratic friends occasionally say, well, if you can't get the votes by executive order, you're going to do something. You can't do it. So this is him replying, you can't do it by executive order unless you're a dictator. Biden declared, adding, we're a democracy, we need consensus. Fast forward to the first day of Biden's presidency, the guy implemented 19 executive actions. Before the first week of his presidency was over, Biden had signed 37 executive orders. Despite the apparent fact that Biden doesn't even know what he's signing, he has already put pen to paper on more than 3 times as many orders as the previous 4 presidents combined. In the first week, Trump signed 4, Obama signed 5, Bush signed none, and Bill Clinton signed 1. Indeed, no other president has ever signed as many orders as Biden, according to the American Presidency Project at the University of California, Santa Barbara. So, Joe, in your own words, what does that make you? You see? Then it goes into the different executive orders that he signed. Re-engage with World Health Organization, rejoin Paris Climate Agreement. You know, I'll put this in the description box. You know, but it shows you what kind of leader we're dealing with. You're not dealing with a president, you're dealing with a dictator. Okay? And it shows you also of what time you're living in. Let's look that up actually. To see what a dictator is. All right? Because here it is. America puts shade on other countries, calling them third world countries because their leaders ran by a dictator, and that's why that place is so messed up. So how will America look in a few months? You know, because with all these executive orders, this place, as we just read, you know, as Biden just said, is ran by a dictator. And ultimately, he got to come in with, you know, come out swinging, basically, because a lot of people are not with taking this vaccine. And he already said in his first 100 days, he's going to push a mask mandate. A brother did a lesson, the brother GMS this time. He had did a lesson about double mask, you know, whether that be true or not. And we know he wants to vaccinate 70% of the people before he makes it mandatory. You know? So this is the world we're coming into. All right? So this is Ecclesiastes 13:13. Actually, I'll start at 11. All right, because people chose this man because he is the so-called lesser evil, not knowing that he is actually the greater evil. But they'll see. All right, he just showed you, as I just brought out the first day, he showed you what type of time he on. You know, this is Sirach 13 verse 11. Affect not to be made equal unto him, and talk and believe not his many words, for with much communication will he tempt thee. Right, he's telling you what you want to hear, but now that he's in there, now you got to really see what he does. Actions speak louder than words, as the saying goes. And smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets, but cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare thee, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. You know, and as the rest of the world, you know, as it normally works that way anyway, as the rest of the world pushes detention camps for those who don't want to receive the vaccination, like I believe what was it, Germany, dang, what else? I know Canada was talking about it. That's what he's going to do to the American people. You know, even some of us may be put into prison. Well, the scriptures say some of us will be put into prison. It says, observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril, and the word peril meaning danger, of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Now, last year, 2020 being the year of prophecy, you should have already been awoke. You know, as great earthquakes, great signs in heavens has been coming to pass. But how much more so now, as the day is nearer? All right, this being the year to hasten the Lord's coming. All right, Esau already put it out orders. All right, to chop down on, extremist groups. You know, what's ultimately the extremist groups is anybody that don't believe in this new world order. If you saying that you're not taking the vaccine, guess what? You are part of an extremist group. Okay? Anything against him, you will be a part of extremist group. So awake in thy sleep. Okay? This is the book of Ecclesiastes. That was Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10. If the iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength. All right, enough people is not bending to his will, so he has to put more strength. All right, he's not able to get through with recommendations, so he has to put mandations on everything. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. We're dealing with the serpent. And you're going to see, what is that in the book of Revelations? What's the book of Revelations spells out the end times. All right. In Spanish, it's called Apocalypsis. All right. So this is Revelations 20 and 2. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, so this is when Septimius Severus had put the Edomite Romans under the Israelites. All right, which they happen to be under the Israelites for 1,000 years. You know, and then around like 1300 BC, that's when they came out. Okay, and it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up when he went into captivity. All right, and put him in the caves and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So this that little season from the 1300s, which even as he started, he came out them caves, he was lying, laying siege upon anything that didn't represent him being in rulership. The Renaissance, so this, for example. Okay? But the point I wanted to get is that he is the devil, he's Satan, the so-called white man. And you're going to see in these upcoming days. Alright? Because again, actions speak louder than words. Alright? When he forces his chip down your throat, alright, or pulls medical assistance away from you, or pulls, if you don't take this vaccine, he already took your jobs, he'll take stimulus checks away. He'll take everything that allows you to live comfortably, and he don't care if you need it. All right. But back at Ecclesiastes 10:11, surely the serpent will bite without enchantment. So the so-called white man is that serpent, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. Okay? And 10 times out of 10, a person will reveal their heart. Just let him do all the talking. All right? As we just witnessed in that interview, where she tried to push it off that, his constituents or his friends, which are both Republicans and Democrats, mind you, all right, they were pushing, that you need to push executive order. He was pushing that off as a bad thing, as only dictators do that. But then he turns around and does it himself. A fool also is full of words. Salakia, verse 13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. All right. Now they're saying if you don't take this vaccine, or if you do take the vaccine and something happens to you, they're not at fault. And the end of his talk is mischievous madness. That's why it's important to watch. The scriptures say, watch ye and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The brother in the camp always goes into how the devil is in the details. So it's important to look into what this devil is saying. A fool also is full of words, and man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him, who can tell him? All right? But it seems, if you have your eyes open, you're able to see through the smoke. The scriptures say, never trust thy enemy. Let's grab that. You always got to keep an eye open to your enemy, because what he's planning is wickedness, mischievous madness. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 12:8. A friend cannot be known in adversity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in Slakia. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Jacob's trouble is soon approaching. Your enemy will show his horns. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. We're really going to see, on a side note, we're really going to see who's down for the Lord, who's down for righteousness, who's down for freedom, really. Because a lot of people who say they down, they with the shit, so to speak, when enough of their freedoms get taken away, they're going to fold. They're going to turn on those who's, those who are contrary to this place. Those who are really contrary, which really is only the elect. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he shall stand in thy place. He wants to stand and he wants to set up his system within you. All right. Little do people know that test puts antibodies or nanobots in you. All right, which will eventually destroy your immune system. All right, giving you all types of facial paralysis. And then it's looking like the chip, the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, is going to be the solution. Because we know that's in prophecy. So one way, shape, or form, this devil has to graft it in. All right, the scriptures say he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. The word cause meaning he produces an opportunity. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. So he not only wants to be a president, or these devils, these elites, they not only want you to be acceptable of the wicked, of the evil, they want to be within you. And thou at thy last remember, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Okay? And you're going to be pricked. All right? Those who took vaccine, they're pricked. All right? Whether they received facial paralysis or some of them even were killed. You see? So this is Ecclesiastes 10 and 13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words, and a man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell? Who can tell him? So that was pretty much it, man. With that, shalom to the elect.